Well, first off, we thank you for joining the conversation and making time. We know that the Jacksons are busy. So we are grateful that you made time to have this conversation with us.
Right.
Oh,
Um,
it's an honor to be on here. We really appreciate the call and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
yes,
Cindy. We were really excited when we found
good.
out. So we're really happy to join and be a
Yes.
part.
Well, thank you, thank you. We're just gonna jump right in. The first question that I have for you guys is talk a little bit about the work life that both of you guys do and some of the things that you are vested in.
Okay. I'll start. I'll start. Um, so I have, I guess my main full-time work is my nonprofit, the Bridge Impact Center in Northeast DC. Um, we serve young people, middle and high schoolers, just trying to bridge gaps, um, education gaps, uh, mental health gaps, spiritual gaps, uh, financial gaps through initiatives and activities and things that can really help develop and build confidence, focus, and vision in young people. So we just really want to have a location where we can tie them in opportunities and things they may not have access to um, in Northeast. That's my main work, and then I do a whole lot of. I'm also in music and do music production, music recording, things like that. Every once in a while, we have concerts happening, summer camps. I pull away. When we do a camp, I'm gone for a week or two at a time. Um, is that it for work? Like, is that what you consider? And then I'm on a pastoral team at my church too.
Mhm.
Those are like the three major things that
Yeah.
I'm.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And then I kind of work alongside Mark Bridge, and so I do
Kind of.
some. Well, yeah,
Y'all downplaying this. Y'all are downplaying this.
I do a lot of administrative type work.
Mhm.
I'm really kind of like wherever you need me, like let me know and I'll jump in. So I kind of serve different capacities, I would say, uh, in that uh,
Yeah.
capacity. So, um, outside of that, mental health professional, and this year I did decide to embark on, opening my own private practice. So I do some of those.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I also do that. I do therapy.
That's
Awesome.
good. So y'all are super busy, but super connected with your communities and plugged in. How do with everything that you guys do, and I know that's a glimpse. I think if we were to be in your world, we would be like, woo, like, man, this is a lot in one day, in 24 hours. How do you find that balance between everything that you guys are plugged into and then your family at home? Talk a little bit about that.
You know what's crazy? Like, I think that so the bridge opened up um, in September. We had a whole bunch of work getting done on it, and so we like basically reopened kind of under the radar to
Mhm.
start kids going back to school during virtual school. And as we're getting that stuff together, like they're early in the morning, and we're leaving at like 7 p.m. And that happened for,
Yeah,
and at a certain point, it's like, nah,
yeah. Certain point, like
we ain't doing that no more.
every day
So
cannot be life.
it was a reminder for us,
Mhm.
when it comes to balancing things, it's like you don't want to do one thing in spite of the most important thing, which is like your family, each other, them kids, we don't want to ever be in a situation where all the things we're doing outside the house cause
Mhm.
home to suffer. And so,
Yeah.
we put a few things in place. Like we have a family night. Uh, we don't miss family night. Like that it had to be an emergency. It had to be a big deal to miss
Yeah, it is a big deal. We kind of, I think from the beginning of our marriage, because we kind of start marriage and ministry together, that
Mhm.
we always knew we didn't want to be so involved on the ministry end that we neglect our family. And so
Right.
in the beginning, we kind of established like, how do we make that a priority? And I mean, over the years, we've had to kind of reevaluate it and update and change things.
We have to keep doing it with family night and date night. So
Yeah,
we
Yes.
started to do both.
and then
In a,
just
in a,
alternate.
no, we was doing it all in 1 week.
Oh.
Remember?
No.
We were like, man, that's too much, because Tuesdays we trying to do a date night, Thursdays we trying to do family night, and it was just like hard to. And then we're like, okay, well, what's our easiest day? Tuesdays. So then on Tuesdays we alternate. Every other week we have a date. Every other week.
Ooh, that's smart. Yeah.
Then COVID happened, and every day is family night.
Right.
Away from the family. And so then we have to be creative with that, because even for a date was literally like, y'all going there,
Right.
go
Yeah.
away, so that we
Yeah.
can just be around each other and try to, So this year for real was like a year of like just seeing, I think, just how much of a rhythm we've created with that, to just be able to make adjust and say, well, we're still going to do family night. We're at home. We're still going to do family night. We're going to go in the back. We're going to order takeout. We're going to sit back here, watch a movie on our TV, and send all the kids to the day area, let them watch a movie, and we're going to have some time together. Like, I think that we've did our best, especially for me. I think that I get pulled on a lot, especially with like phone calls. People try to have, when we first started doing this, people would always want my evenings.
Yeah.
Tonight, can you do something Thursday night? Can you do something Friday night? Just
Yeah.
like, I had to learn how to like work that, still do the things that needed to get done. Be like, nope, no Tuesdays. Don't even. To me, Tuesday is just out of my brain.
Right.
Monday since COVID, we had to make
Mondays is
adjustments.
better, so we adjusted. But I think we did great in creating healthy boundaries, to where whenever Tuesday night came, no matter, I mean, we had to decline invitations, things we had to decline, work things or whatever. But it was just like, no, not Tuesday. Do we have another night? And we've incorporated it so much into our family that on days when we do get busy, like our kids, that's like, hey, it's family night.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday.
We got to make up something on the fly.
Yeah.
They're not going to let us fly.
But how is that process for you guys with creating those boundaries when the schedules are so demanding, Like, how does that impact the marriage? How does that impact the relationship?
Well, I think that when it's in, like, for September, or, about 8 weeks, we were in that place where it was like, there's a lot going on. She's still doing therapy. She's still driving all the way out to more, seeing clients, coming back, trying to do her lives and all of that. We still got kids running around. Yet I'm completely engulfed in trying to make sure all the stuff at the youth center is lined up with contractors, workers, and staff, and all the things we're doing. And it hit that point where it's like, okay, it's full. So I think a big thing for us was communicating, like, out the gate. So I was feeling it, and then when she was like, "We gotta stop," I'm like, "Okay, yeah, okay." I felt like it was coming already, so I was just kind of waiting for it. And then she's just like, we can't. This can't be our new rhythm, our new life, and we got to get a smarter way to do this." To the point where I actually sat down with on our team, and when we were talking about our hours, I had to adjust it to where we changed our hours so that I'm not there as much. So it was like I'll come in a little bit later than you, so that we're not like, because it would have been 12-hour days
Right.
Mm-hmm.
every day, and it was just like, man, we gotta figure that out. There's no way out of it, you know. And she'd call me on it, you know what I'm saying? I do the same. If she's moving, doing stuff with clients, hey man, I thought we were supposed to have clients on this, you know, but we said ain't no clients today, you know.
Right.
Got that, and just hold each other accountable based on what we've agreed to.
Yeah.
I agree. The conversations can't to kind of have those types of conversations about what you're really sacrificing. And because we both want that to be a priority for us, then we have those conversations, no matter how kind of tough they can be. But we do have them, and in those conversations, we try to figure out what we can give up, you know, how we can realign what's important and what's not. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that's sometimes can be tough, because when you are working in your purpose, it's like you want to give all your time to that.
Absolutely.
And I remember, like, even with COVID, me and Dexter having that conversation, like, I was starting to get to the point in my life where I got tired of seeing clients at 7 and 8 o'clock at night. You know, like, I want to be at home. And I started missing our relationship. And I'm like, okay, the money is great, but I'm never home. And on top of that, we have notes to do. And so you're really not finished with work until hours later. And it's like, but you know, you love what you do, and it's hard trying to find that balance, you know. But you have to choose and make those sacrifices and say, okay, what is important to us right now in the season that we're in?
Absolutely. I think another thing that was really helpful, even him just talking about kind of this going is that we're always very open with our children about what we're doing and why we're kind of passionate about it. And so they were right there with us. And I mean, they were pitching in too. Like, they were helping paint walls, you know, everything when we were there. And so it didn't feel, I guess, as because you still have your whole family there together. So we would just sometimes, you know, to make a night that too.
Yeah.
I mean, we did that. And we did some Tez wings.
Yeah, we had to make it work.
Yeah, we had to. I think that also we've had moments where, for example, I did a camp tour. I felt like it was 3 camps and on 3 weeks out of 1 month. And daughter was still really young. And my son is a teenager now, but a few years ago. But I remember that even though, so I'm being paid, right? So, you know, it's like the balance of like, hey, we need to make ends meet, but at the same time, we still have to like be a family, you know. It was a conversation where it's like, hey, babe, you know, this month is big. Okay, but I'm gonna come home with this much money. This doesn't happen all the time. Even with all of those conversations, you know what I'm saying? She could not get away from kids because I'm gone. I'm all the way out. I'm all the way in Portland, all the way out the way. And she's like, "Ooh, your kids today." Yeah, I'm sorry, but I got to go. You know, we got to go eat some food at this exotic location.
Right. Turn up.
And she here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That naturally, you know, if one spouse is busier, even though there's that understanding of like this makes good money, there's still that desire. Like we still want. I feel like in that time she would have rather me still been home, or at least have a break, come home for a little bit, and leave again. So I don't know how. I've never been on a full-fledged tour before, where you just like on the road for 90 days, 6 months. But I don't know if I could do it without bringing the family.
Right.
If family can't get on the bus, I don't know if we could pull it off. I got called to do a camp. We ended up taking the whole family, and I said, I got to bring my family. I told the people, my family is like it's important. And time we have a personal trip and do a trip in the trip, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's times where we've missed it, and I think we use those as learning opportunities.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like please tell me, please communicate with me, and also like please communicate on the front end. So like if you got something going on and
Yeah.
you got a client reschedule, like I just need to know. Because if we both putting our clothes on and walking towards the door at the same time, and all the kids in the living room, you just like, where you going?
Right.
And I had to, I'm like, well, I got a thing too. Well, who about to not do their job right now? We got to
Right.
figure out somebody about to not do their job now. We got a 16-year-old, so that helps a little bit now, but he wasn't 16, so. And he's 16, so.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
not always. It depends on the day, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. How long do you feel like it took to find that rhythm?
I believe it's on. I think you can find rhythm and get in a good, healthy habit and pattern. I think with life, it's just always something.
You get disrupted.
And so you just have to quickly kind of reevaluate, get back on track.
Yeah, I've had jobs like a major one was when I stepped away. So we've been married 13 years, but my whole relationship up until 2016,
2017.
Yeah, I've been working for Christ and stuff, campus ministry, YFC, all this stuff, camps, all of that. That was our rhythm, and so our life was kind of, this is what Marcus does. This is what the demand is. These are the seasons where it get a little busier, but we're used to it. And then all of a sudden, it's like, but not all of a sudden. A lot of conversations, it's like I'm ready to step out, do something different in the context of like I just want to be more planted in the community, like here as a staple patient. And we start talking through that. But when I quit, you know, I'm home, and there were times where I'm just sitting at the house, like, you know, and she come in because she's going to work, and I'm in what I had when she left, you know, and she like, so what'd you do today? And that may bring out tension because it's like she tired, she wore out, and I'm sitting here just chilling, like, you know, I'm listening to you on the phone with my friend. I'm posting, and he's like, so what'd you do today? What'd you work on? And I'm like, why is you question? You know,
Right.
Hey,
we do that sometimes.
But with that, you know, something I learned from that is like, I have to still get dressed, still get out the house, go to the coffee shop, go to work, pull out my laptop and do something. Even though I was working at home, even the parents that one spouse is doing a lot and another one isn't, even if it's not really true, it can cause tension. And so the fact that she's putting on work clothes and got a briefcase, and I got on house shoes, and you know I'm eating noodles when she come home, and she just like, "What you been doing all day?" And I'm like, "Well, I called some emails," and she like, you know,
Yeah.
I started to, you know, you remember I started to just get up, I to the coffee shop, and I worked that way, and I just started filling my schedule with meetings to a point where it was like, dude, you're busier now than you were before, you know, when you had a job. Because technically, you did, you know, I hadn't hired myself on salary, so that period. But I remember how important it was to still contribute and how angry I could make her by like, if there's a pile of clothes on the couch and I'm home all day, and she come back to the same pile, plus my snacks is sitting around me.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, so like I got now I got another kid, you know, and so I have to be aware that I do not like doing laundry, cleaning, or doing that. Now she know that when she met me. You know? So I better get busy. So I was like, well, let me get out here and get busy then, because I need her to know I'm doing something. But if I'm not doing the chores because I just don't feel like it, you know, that's not gonna cut it. I got to be busy. I'm too busy for chores, right?
Look, it's the same way over here. Look, I stay at home. I'm working from home, and she has to go in. So I got to make sure the bed is made. I got to make sure the dishes are done.
Yeah.
You don't
Every-
have to. You don't have
Yes, he do.
I mean, I do it out of love, you know. 'Cause, you know, she's working.
Got a
You
problem.
know, I want her to come home and rest, you know, and chill, you know. So
Yeah, my therapist was like, well, you know, what if you just wash dishes? I was like, you too, you fired.
But I think it's important to, you know, communicate that, especially when we have these demanding lives. Like, communicate what our expectations are, and then, you know, allow us to execute those expectations. And I think that communication is so important, especially when we go through different seasons and transitions. I mean, COVID has, you know, shifted everybody. You know, we're all feeling it in different ways. And I think for us, it was so important that we communicate, okay, this is what this is going to look like, you know, and talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I don't think we like really figured it all out. I think it took us a couple years. You know, I think that Joy was born in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like 3 years. 3 years in the
Yeah.
And I think that that baby helped us out, realizing how much we had to figure things out, like communicate. Because Shakira, you know, she's like the epitome of independent. So I was just teasing her earlier because, you know, like if I'll be out of town and I'll come home and the whole house is moved around. Stuff I can't move by myself.
right.
So like, yo, like who came over here? You know? And she's like, no, I just drug it and didn't. I'm just like, that's crazy. Like that's insane. But she had to learn to ask me for help.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't a natural reaction to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, could you help me do this? Can you know? And so we have to get through that. But like having a kid and being tired, and, you know, can you get her up? Can you get her? She crying. I'm looking like, oh, you asking me for something? I don't hear nothing. You know.
Yeah.
No, but we didn't just come out the gate like with a good communication, like system, I guess, between us. But it had to develop, and we knew that if we were to like really have a life together, you think ahead. You think ahead of like we didn't have teens at the time, but like teenagers, you know, like now, it's crazy. Like on top of all the stuff we do, my son went and got a job. He felt like that was just something he needed to do.
Mm.
He goes and gets a job, no car, no license, you know. And like, so now we're like, okay, so what we got going this evening? Oh, we gotta take him to work. Da, da, da. Right when we get in the mix in the middle of something, the phone ring. I need to be picked up. I'm off. You know, and it's like so this new element of things.
Right.
You know, it's just it stretches us away to grow us.
Yeah.
And I have to check myself a lot. And, but we keep our rhythms. So we go to church together. We keep our family night. You know, we take trips. You know, which is real big for us. Our families like we gotta take a trip. And there are times when it's like, even during COVID, we're like, we're going to a hotel. And we packed up all our kids and we went to a hotel and hung out for the weekend away from everybody and away from everything to just be together because it was just like, this is too redundant, you know, in the house every day, standing over your kids' computers. It's just not, you know, no one asked for this, right?
Yeah, I think we definitely believe work hard. Even take that with the whole family. Like we do have demanding and you know serve in many different ways, but because family is really important to us, that we make sure we like are very intentional about going on vacations. Even if you know we're on lockdown and we can't really go nowhere, like we're gonna do something like vacation to take a real break and step away from like everything else that's pulling.
This the other thing is that I feel like we've always had to live off of, like, kind of be ready to adjust, because we both our daughters are surprises. And due to the fact that, according to doctors, she have kids. So her getting pregnant, the first time, oh wow, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, she gets pregnant, and we like, okay. So like, we're not expecting to, and we just decided we didn't want to do no more.
We have been trying to. It was very difficult. And by that time, I was just like,
we're not gonna do no more of the treatment. We just gonna just, it is what it is, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother topic. But
let's bring it on. Let's make it happen.
But we'll say that, there, like, if you're trying and you get pregnant, you're already in your mind planning for what it's gonna be. But when you just go to the doctor for your regular stuff and they say, "Oh yeah, well the baby's fine," and you're like, "What? What baby?"
Right.
Now our whole life just said, and all the things that we had planned out, what we about to do, we ain't going to the wine garden now. We got to do the juice spot.
Go to the wine garden.
Right.
But also, that just happened. And so, in what month? You now.
Okay.
She's pregnant now.
I was trying to make
Yeah.
But once again, for us, she on paper has a condition where she can't have children.
Wow.
And she's pregnant again.
Yes.
They messing up on they test, but she keep having kids. So she's pregnant right now. So now we're in a situation like, okay, I feel like getting pregnant right and all that, the job too. So like, to get into another house, now we're in a place now where we're learning things that, oh Lord, I didn't know this. Just to get into a house, we're like, okay, we gotta figure this stuff out. We gotta figure out what to do, because no one else will fit in this.
Yeah. Right.
Pretty tight.
No one else can live here. So we got about 6 months now. We got about 6 months. Wait, am I right?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, we got about 6 months.
It's time to go.
Put it all together and get up out of here. And like, that's going in the back of our minds as well. And that can be super frustrating, on a tension level, when you feel like it should be easy. So
Right.
if I have money and I'm just ready to do it, it should be easy. But they're like, well, you need to work on this and work on that. Now that added another layer to like everything that we're doing. It's like, yeah, we got the youth center, we got natural therapy going. I got the church which she was leading the worship team at church for
ever
5, 8, 9 years. Doing that. All that's happening, and now it's like we gotta find a house. We gotta tighten this stuff up. We gotta get stuff, And so,
not to mention virtual learning.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And a 3-year-old who doesn't understand volume. So all of that, if we don't talk and like if I don't say what I need, if she don't say what she needs, if we don't get in front of each other, if we're not like texting, like when she's not home, we in the air. I'm on my AirPods and we talking all the time. She's in between clients. She calls and we're talking. Even though we can't be in front of each other all the time, it's like we got to stay in communication. I'm telling her what's going on this side. She's telling me what's going on this side, and we're just trying to stay as plugged as possible. And I don't know if it's like a strategy we came up with, but it's just something I realized we do.
Yeah.
But we have to talk through everything. One convo maybe just talking about crap, and we just on the phone and just saying, okay, what we need to do is try this. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna do this. Okay, yeah, and I know there's something here, and we're just talking. And it's like we have expectations, but now we've discussed those expectations. So the first thing that come around to kill our schedule, kill our time, get in between what we got going, we've already had in-depth conversation what we want to do. So if I do something outside of that, I'm the one tripping, not her for calling me out. That's where I have to be like, where she like, remember you said that, you know, but I have to eat that.
Yeah.
You know,
And vice versa.
that's right.
So what would be the lasting tip that you would give to a family who is trying to find that balance between a demanding work schedule and family? Like, what tips would you give them?
You want to go first?
No.
Okay. She's a thinker. So
I am.
I know my girl.
Is that it don't matter what business you have, what you do, nothing. The biggest investment you can make is your family. And you do just as important it is for you to figure out how to pay rent, you figure out how to make sure that your family have time with you, spouse has time, because just as devastating it can be to get your lights cut off, it's worse to get your wife cut off. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like you gotta want it that bad. And so my biggest thing for people, I tell them all the time, it's like there's no thing that you got on your schedule right now more important than your spouse. Period. So if they saying they need you, they need you. You gotta understand when somebody marries you, they're trusting their life with you and vice versa. So it's like you my person. I don't have another person. So like if I can't talk to you and you don't have time for me, I don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm there for you. Like, so you got to keep that in your mind all the time. If she needs something from me and she's calling me and saying, I need to tell you something, or I'm upset, or I'm mad at work, or whatever, I have to make time, you know, even if I have to say, okay, give me 3 minutes, I'm going to have to finish this, I'm going to call you right back. Like, I got to figure it out. So that's my biggest thing is nothing is more important. So don't weigh it out. It's already weighed out for you. Like, figure it out, set it up, communicate what y'all need to do, stick with it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I agree. And I think when I look back, one of the major things that we did together, even before we really started like having, you know, more kids and things like that, was we really sat down and we had a conversation and we actually created a family blueprint, like a family business plan. And so I know we keep saying like that happens and we have to reevaluate and readjust, but we do have this plan that ultimately we kind of review and go back and say, okay, these is our most important things. These are our values. This is what we're going to stick to. So whatever we got to do to get back to that, then that's what we have to do.
Yeah. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. Wow.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, I mean, this has been some good information. I love what you guys are saying. When I thought of this topic, you guys are the perfect couple for this topic. I know both of you are equally busy, and I know that you both equally love your family and you cherish that. And so I'm just grateful that both of you guys are joining this platform and discussing, you know, how it worked for you guys and your story and, you know, your process of getting to where you are today, you know.
Well, thanks for having us.
Well,
Thanks for doing this.
one last thing I
No.
something that's last night is really, really important. We both value what each do as partners. And so we're both very, very supportive of one another.
Nobody's
like,
working.
That's big.
Exactly.
That's
and so
real big. Yeah, we
find
supposed to
ways.
start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that's one of our big things about us with work. And the topic of work, what she does, so she went back to graduate school. And we had kids, I mean, that was tough, but it's like, no, you gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say that what I want to do need to snuff out your dream. We're gonna figure it out.
Right.
And that was rough for me.
It was a rough time. He was very supportive. Because I remember wanting to give up.
Look, it was rough without kids. I can only imagine what it's like with kids.
I'm like, you better not give up after all this. Lord. They too. They say it's 9, Dan. We haven't had.
Sorry.
I forgot. I'm texting
Yeah.
her. What did I make?
But that's one another thing that I think is very important. No one's work is more important. You value each other and you support each other and really care.
And talk about it, right? Like she told me what she wanted to do. I told her what I wanted to do. And like so we both knew we know we can't do it all at the same time. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna set this, I'm gonna get this straight. And it's like I get my thing straight. Okay. She like, I'm gonna set my thing up. Yeah, all right, cool. Then I'm gonna hold you down while you there was a time when I quit my job, she was the main income. We had to discuss that. So until I'm able to bring in a salary for what I'm doing, we gotta get a system. But I promise you I'm gonna do it. And then we set a deadline. If I ain't doing it by then, I'm back. I'll go back to where I was. I'll go
That's
back
good.
to work. Yes. Oh, and one last thing. This is for real the last thing. Unless you got another.
I have nothing else to say.
One thing Shakira does really well. I think I do it well too. I hope
I don't know what you're gonna say, so
agree. No. We give each other space to do what we like and enjoy. So, like, that's her saying, "I'm gonna go with a couple friends to Dallas for the weekend or something like that." Like, I'm not like, "Wow, who? What?" It's like, "Who you going with? Cool. All right, have fun. That's great." Like because we're also aware of how much we work. We're also aware of what our life is. So, like, when I go off and hey, see me and some of the guys, we're gonna meet up in the city and hang out and stuff. It's like we got, But she's like, "Oh, as long as we got a plan, don't say, don't leave me hanging." So that's the biggest thing. Like, we gotta plan out that stuff. We really do support each other, in not just our work, but in our play. Like, he like to go and buy shoes and.
Yeah.
And she got friends that apparently like it too. Cool, that's great.
Yeah.
And but if that's where she feels good and happy, and they go to lunch and they spend their day, I'm like, dude, that's what I want. I want my wife to come back happy,
Right.
refreshed. Like that's what I don't want her to be drained all the time and all of that. So you can't be so what's the word? I don't know what the word, but I don't want to say clingy.
Or selfish.
Selfish. Yeah. You can't be that way, man. Like, you gotta know, like, everybody got, like, me and her are opposites. Like, it's real way, by definition, So, like, we like different stuff. And so if she try to mute what I like because she don't like it, then she's basically telling me, no, you can't be relaxed. Do it your way. But we have to come to that. We have to have like, look, this is what I'm into, and I get you don't like it, but I'll do it at different times. I do, we discuss it made a big difference for us, I believe, because even in the busyness, it's like she got things she looks forward to. I got things I look forward to. I'm like, okay, yeah, the end of the week, I'm gonna go to the gun range with some of my friends, and it's like we already talked about it. She okay, take the girls to the farmers market. Cool, perfect. So we plan it out. But I don't just get up and walk out. She also be in the front, blocking the door, saying,
where you going?
Yeah, where you going? These kids.
Yeah, that's good. And I think, planning is healthy in a marriage. I mean, we plan for everything else, even on our jobs, there's planning. Professionally, we plan for stuff. And I really like what you guys said as far as creating a blueprint for your marriage and your family. What do we want to see? I think that's a game changer because you have something that you're working towards and you can visually see it and return to it, make adjustments, switch it up, add to, take away. And I think having that in front of you and every so often coming together and talking about that plan is healthy. I think that's awesome.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Been working for us so far.
So far.
That's good. I love it. This is awesome. Do we
Real
have any questions in the comments section? This has been very, very informative. We love this conversation with you guys.
I'm messing with the iPad. Dexter, what's our shoe you wear, man?
12.
Well, I need to get in the shoe closet, man. Yeah. Oh.
Listen, let's not bring that up right now.
Don't bring it up.
Listen, let's not talk about that right now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to help, but I ain't in the right size. See, if we was the right size, I'd be like, look. You know, my other homie that where we were the same size, he buy a lot of shoes. But what he worked out his wife is like, I'll give some away. So sometimes I was the recipient of that until he really got good at reselling, and then I got cut out the deal, you know. So now he just sits on StockX. I got tips from everybody else.
Yeah.
That's off topic, but man, yeah,
That's funny. But yeah, he's on another level with his sneakers. It's been good. I shouldn't say thank God, but everything happens for a reason. So, we're grateful for the season that we're in, and it has kind of slowed down.
Yeah, slowed down.
So we're embracing the moments in the season that we're in.
Yeah, but the joy in it is that you look back at all this stuff. It's just like, man, you remember when we got into it over that, and that is
right.
Right.
Yeah, we have plenty of those moments.
It's like those moments. The moment is like you're so annoyed. You look back later, you be like, we still mad. What was I thinking when I did that?
Right.
Yeah.
There's stuff you appreciate that the more the longer you together, it's just some things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Arguing ain't even the same over a period of time. It's just like I just
right. Yeah. For sure. This is so good. I really appreciate you guys. We both appreciate you guys coming on.
Having a busy schedule.
Right. On NBA draft night.
Right.
Like we know
draft?
that
Oh, my phone's going crazy over here. I'm like, what's tripping on my phone? What do people want? Now I know. Everybody's messaging about basketball stuff. Okay, I'm like, man, what? That's how much I had around though. I've been like, man, I don't even. In COVID, like, draft happening in dang November, man. Like,
right.
So everything's twisted. It's just a little.
Yeah. But yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing for the community. And if there's anything that we can do to help or be a part of that, please, Shakira, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know.
We definitely will.
Thank you. Thank y'all for doing things for couples. We need more of it, especially couples that look like such a big deal.
Right.
Exactly.
Black love this way. So thank y'all.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Already.
Well, you guys have a beautiful evening. And thank you for joining.
Thank you. Have a great
All right.
You too.
Have a good one.